Well, it's great to have you on the program. Brent Rooker here with us. Obviously, things are going phenomenal for you, but I know you're really a team guy. The way the team has played, what has that meant to you?
Yeah, it's been fun, man. It's been cool to watch a bunch of guys kind of find their confidence and get comfortable and kind of figure out their role and how good they are, and then watch them succeed and watch them flourish. And that's shown on individual levels. It's shown on on us as a team, how we've been playing collectively as a group over the past month and a half, and it's just fun to be a part of.
At some point, guys got to start stepping up and getting some leadership roles, right? When did you feel like now is the time? Because in a lot of ways, you've become one of the leaders in the clubhouse.
Yeah, I mean, coming into this season, I had some success last year, and just the nature of our team and the way our roster is made up, I was already kind of inherently one of the older guys, despite not having a ton of time, obviously, but just we've had a bunch of young guys, a bunch of inexperienced guys. So at the beginning of this year, kind of felt that way, and then kind of throughout the season, as even more of those guys the older guys than me and with more experience than me, have kind of gone to other places. I've kind of had to step in that role as one of the more veteran guys, especially on the hitting side. And it's something I've enjoyed, and I like talking to younger guys about my experience and how I've improved, how I've gotten better, the type of work it takes, and just trying to help them out any way I can.
It's really been like the evolution of this team. It's been so fun to watch because we knew down in spring training that you guys were going to be better. Obviously, September, the end of May, and what we saw in June wasn't going so hot. But since July 1st, you're tied for – actually, now I think you have the best record in the American League since July 1st. And one of the things we all talked about is do not trade Rook, do not trade Mason Miller, do not trade Andujar. What did it mean to you to have the front office say, listen, I know a lot of people your name was everywhere. Sure. Your name, that's got to get old. But what did it mean to you go, no, we're building on this and we're taking this into the next couple of years?
Yeah, I think, throughout pretty much all of July, that the sentiment in our clubhouse amongst us players is, hey, like, we're not far off from being a team that can go out there and compete for a playoff spot and can go contend and win a lot of games. And that's how we all felt as players. And I think when you get through the trade deadline and I'm still here and Mason's still here and Miggy's still here, like you said, I think it just shows that the front office kind of feels that same sentiment. Like, hey, we're just maybe one or two pieces away next year, or a couple guys developing here and there from being a team who can really go out and win a lot of games and and contend for a playoff spot, which is super exciting.
You're active on social media. How hard is it to kind of block it out because your name's everywhere?
Yeah, I do my best to. I'm off Twitter during the season, except like golf major championship weekends. I get back on it because that's kind of how I follow it, because we can never watch.
Yeah.
So that's kind of really the only time that I'm on Twitter during the season. So it's a little easier to block out, and then obviously off season I get a little more active. But still, even the MLB Network coverage and all that stuff obviously exists. So you're generally aware that your name is being thrown around in certain scenarios, and communicate as best we can. Obviously, with my agent, with David, kind of get a feel of what's going on and kind of go from there.
Did you watch the Olympic golf at all?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it.
Fabulous.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Scotty's something special. He's fun to watch.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was great. And just to see, because it really shows you how there's great players all over the world to compete. Let's talk about approach. The one thing that stood out for me in the month of July, obviously, we've always known you've had the power. We've talked about that before. But to watch you hit 391, right? That's something that power hitters mostly don't do. What has been the big difference for you? Less strikeouts, more contact, but just making a lot more contact to hit 391.
Yeah, I think it was probably midway through June. I was sitting down with Bushy in the cage one day, and he just kind of looked at me and said, I'm going to ask you a question. Like, do you think that you are a power hitter, or do you think you're a good hitter with power? And I kind of thought about that a little bit, and he said, those are two pretty different things. And to me, you are a good hitter who happens to have power. So I want you to change your focus a little bit and just go out there, focus on good at bats, focus on trying to get hits instead of trying to hit home runs, and then trust that you're strong enough, you have enough bat speed, and you have enough leverage and lift the ball enough that the home runs are going to come as long as we take good approaches and have good at bats and go out there focusing on just trying to get hits. And that varies pitcher to pitcher, right? There's some guys you go out there and you're like, I don't think I can slug against this guy. For whatever reason his stuff doesn't match up with what I'm doing. I don't see him super great, so I'm going to go out there. I'm just going to try to slap something, try to hit a single, try to work a walk, do something. And there's some guys out there that you see really well, and you can go, try to drive the ball in a gap or over a fence and be a little bit more aggressive with it. So just having those type of approaches, being able to change what I'm trying to do at the plate based on who's on the mound, based on the situation, based on how I'm feeling, has been a big, not a huge change, but just a big improvement for me. I feel like I'm doing a better job of that than I did last year.
That is an outstanding question. Who have you always been? Are you just a guy that hits the ball at the ballpark, or are you actually a good hitter? And if you look at your track record, obviously what you did not only in your amateur career, especially coming out of college, I mean, yeah, that's who you are. You weren't just hit a home run or strikeout guy.
Right. Yeah. It was a high average in college. It was, but the 260 to 280 guy in the minor leagues. So that's always been in there. And then the power obviously just kind of comes with that. So it's just been a change of focus a little bit. I feel like I'm just becoming, and that's a cliche term, whatever, but I'm becoming a more professional hitter. I'm a more professional hitter than I was last year. And I think that's been fun for me to kind of see that development within myself.
Does it also help you to teach the younger guys, and that helps your game?
Yeah, I think so. I think I had one of my coaches in college, Nick Mingione, who's now the head coach at Kentucky, doing a really good job there. He would always, and my John Cohen would always say it too, but they would both always say, teaching is just learning at a higher level. So that's something that's always kind of stuck with me. And when I'm forced to explain something to somebody else, it makes me learn that subject even better, whether it's approach, whether it's swing, whether it's thought process in the box, whatever it is. But when I'm explaining something, you can't thoroughly explain something without adequately understanding it. So I think that's kind of that phrase, teaching is just learning at a higher level, has always stuck with me, and I think it's pretty true.
Something that also needs to be said is the fact that you're doing this as a primary DH. You've dealt with some right arm issues. You're used to playing in the field, which, if things aren't going well offensively, you can contribute in the outfield. Taking to the just DHing right now for now, what has been the key? Because a lot of guys struggle with that.
Yeah, I've developed a routine, and it consists of a lot of pacing, just kind of walking around between the bats. Yeah, just making sure I'm not. I'm a naturally pretty high-strung, nervous person when it comes to the game. So sitting still is not something I do well, especially mid-game. So for people who pay attention, you'll see a lot of me walking up the stairs to the weight room, pacing around there, coming back down, just making sure I'm staying moving. But it's something you get used to. It's a routine you develop to try to stay locked in and then make sure your body stays loose as well.
All right, let's end on this. What are your expectations for this team, the young guys who are starting to blossom the rest of the way here?
I think the ultimate goal is just on September 29th, September 30th, whatever that last day is, that, we're a better team right now than we were on April 1st. And our goal is to be a better team on September 30th than we are right now. And I think if we do that, the individual development will continue. The team development will continue, and we'll take a lot of momentum into next year, next spring, ready to do some big things next year.
It's been a lot of fun to watch. Congratulations. Stay hot, keep it rolling, and win a lot more games. And it really propels you into what we're going to see next year.
That's right. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.